We're live on the Browns Report. Welcome in, everybody. I am your host, Joey O'Donnell, ready to talk Browns football as always. But first, can we get a dog check in the comment section? Get the chat going. Tell me where you're watching from. Shout out your city in this comment section. Where we at? Where are we tuning in from? Got all my Browns fans. I know we got people all across America, all across the globe even. So what's up, Ty Man? What's up, Mike Nintendo? Mike Nintendo is in Wake Forest Rally. Shout out to Ty Man OHIO. I know Ty Man wants some Buckeyes in this 2026 NFL draft. We're going to talk about them. Absolutely. Sam is in L.A., but a dog. Let's go. I tell you, we got Dog Pound members all across the nation. Wolf in Ohio. Robert Colbert in Sacramento. What is up, Kathy? What is up? Mike, I'm the host. Did you mean who's the producer today? That's right, David. Diggs is a free agent. I'm going to get your guys' opinion on that before we start the show. Lee Clark says we need a linebacker badly. Well, depends if we can get Devin Bush back, right? I mean, he balled out last year, but it might cost you $12 million if you want to re-sign him. So that's kind of where Cleveland is at linebacker-wise. Keep shouting out your city in that comment section. And can also, why don't we bring on producer Gage, who is behind the sticks today? Do you have your mic mic'd up yet? All right, yeah. You get yourself set up. Here we go. Now my live chat's back. Look at this. Max, Hillsboro, Ohio. Micah in Worcester, Ohio.
I never heard of Worcester, Ohio. That's a new one, actually.
Is that a new one for you, Gage?
That's a new one. I'm not going to lie.
There he is, producer Gage on the stick. Say what's up to everybody.
How's it going, people? How we doing?
Let's go.
Woo!
Gage is hyped to talk Browns football.
I mean, there's no other better football team to talk than Cleveland Browns football. Am I right, Joey?
Hey, I will say, to the neutral fan, the Browns are one of the most entertaining teams in the offseason. They always are.
It always brings juice. They always bring the extra juice that you need. I'm not going to lie.
That's
fun.
right.
Yeah.
Now, people don't like to watch their games. I do, but other people don't. But everybody wants to know what the Browns are going to do, what Jimmy Haslam's going to go out and pay 3 first-round picks for, all that.
If you want to get into sports management, you got to follow how the Cleveland Browns do in the offseason. That's the best way to say it.
Yes.
Because they always have something that they do in the offseason that makes the fans engage in what's going to happen when they go on the football field hit September.
Oh, dude, they're all over the place. Every
Yeah.
time. I feel like we have some stability now, though. I think Todd Monken is a no-nonsense guy. Like, he's actually – and you watched some Ravens games last year.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's the perfect just attitude for the room, what the Browns need. He's all offense and he's all football. So I think we finally will have some not as much nonsense going on, but just like let's right the ship here. Let's do this now.
I'm intrigued to see what during I know the free agency is open up. The window opens up next week. I'm curious to see what they're going to do now with Todd Monken at the helm to see if they're going to bring any more Ravens over. Probably like a Tyler Linderbaum or an Isaiah Likely perchance. Mm-hmm. I mean, and just to see how the strategy going into the season will differ from what Kevin Stefanski has done in years prior.
Oh, it'll be much better than what Kevin Stefanski's done. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Comment your dream Browns draft target, everybody. 2 first-round picks. Let's get the draft experts going in the comment section. Comment one player that you want Cleveland to draft this year. Shout out Loverboy Charlie. He said, I don't know why I'm a Browns fan. I feel you, man. I got locked in when I was a kid.
Were you bored into it, or did you pick the Browns? I think that's the real question. Because if you're bored into it, you don't really have much of a say. If you choose them, then that's going to be a real question. So what made you decide to be a Cleveland Browns fan?
Yeah, it's a little both. My dad was born in Cleveland, and he was just a big Browns fan. So I was like, oh, just root for my dad's team. But he literally told me, he was like, you shouldn't do it. I was like offended. I was like, why do you want me to root for your favorite team? And now I see what he meant.
Yeah, your dad. Your dad grew up in the '80s when they were actually pretty decent. They weren't they weren't that bad. They were relatively.
I mean, yeah, he lived the Bernie Kosar years in the late part of that too. So
yeah, it's true.
My dad, yeah, he was around for the '70s also.
Yeah,
he's old. But comment who you want Cleveland to bring in. Who we got going on in here? I like this from Jake Heath. He says Mekhi Lemon. We got multiple Carnell Tates as well. Kathy says Tate. Ty Man wants Carnell Tate. Micah wants Maui Noah. Look at this. Everybody's split on this 6th pick, which is honestly, so are the experts. All the mock drafts I look at, it's one of them's got Fauna, one of them's got Maui Noah, one's got Tate, one's got Monroe Freeling. Like, we're all over the place here. Brian says draft Carnell Tate, born a Brownie. Listen, I wouldn't be mad at Carnell Tate at all. I think he's a polished receiver. He's experienced, good hands, doesn't drop the ball. But I would want us to get a different slot then, either later in the draft or in free agency if we go Tate first on the outside. Tackles, though, that's the thing. Tackles always go higher than you expect them to because the need is just crucial for everybody. So consider that. I think O-line's our biggest need and priority. Oh, there you are. Kathy said, I'm as old as your dad, born in 65. We got some OG Browns fans in the chat. All right, Producer Gage, let's tell everybody what we got coming up on today's show. Listen, we got an action-packed show today, guys. A boatload of news for the Cleveland Browns. Every aspect you can think of. Draft news, free agency news, rumors, trades, like all of it's coming up. So we're going to start the show with 3 big Browns rumors that are the latest for the football team. Then some free agent targets, okay? Free agency, I don't know if you guys noticed, it starts Monday. Like, we're about to ramp up here, and Cleveland is going to have some moves to make. So top free agent targets for the Browns, in my opinion. And then a Q&A mailbag. I want to answer all your questions. So you want to be a part of that. Type a question or take with the hashtag Browns in the chat or super chat, and I'll automatically put you on the show. Let's see if we can get some super chats to get the party going here on a Wednesday and answer some of your questions. Shout out to any super chatters that come in. Shout out Live says Draft Tate. Really wants likely. I like it. Just a girl said they got to get Tate. A lot of Browns fans want Carnell Tate. Listen, like I said, I like him a lot too. I'm not going to be mad, but you need a little more than just Carnell Tate. Otherwise, he's not going to be as productive in this Browns offense if you don't have an O-line and a couple other receiver weapons, to be honest.
So would you draft a offensive O-lineman in the first pick, or would you draft?
I could go either way, but with the 2 first-round picks, I think you have to do one of each. So you have to do offensive line first, and then a receiver at 24. You get lucky. Jordan Tyson might fall that far now in some mocks. Or take your favorite receiver, Tate or Lemon, at 6, and then get a lineman later. But honestly, you're not going to be able to get any of the top linemen later. I honestly think you go Monroe Freeling.
I was going to ask you, so I think the big question I have
For you, Joey, in this is, let's say you have you're in 6th round, your 6th pick comes up.
Yeah.
You're on the board. It's still Vega Ioane, Monroe Freeling, Carnell Tate, or Mekhi Lemon. Who would you pick in the 6th pick? Because you know for a fact that this opportunity is not going to present itself in your next pick in the 1st round.
Right. You know what I would do?
What?
I'd trade down.
Really?
I would trade down. Even if you just go down from 6 to 9 with the Chiefs. Let's say Jeremiah Love's there. They want him so badly. They'll move up with you.
And now with how many picks the Chiefs got with their trade today, you could probably get a couple of those picks from Kansas City. That's not bad of a deal, actually.
I got to make a video on this right now. Think about it, because what you just said could be a real possibility. The linemen and Tate could all be there at 6.
That's a real possibility.
Yeah. And then one of the defensive studs will be there too. Downs, Styles, maybe.
Yeah.
Someone will trade up with you. You could move down a few spots and then be guaranteed to get whoever's left, Tate, Lemon, or Freeling.
If teams are desperate.
And an extra draft pick. Someone might give you a second to move up that. I mean,
there's probably some teams that think they're key player away from being Super Bowl contenders, and you just got to find a way to get it out of them. That's what I would say.
Yeah, I guarantee the Browns, it's been reported they're open to trading down. I think that's your move. I don't even know do we even trust Andrew Berry to make the decision at 6? I'd rather just someone falls into your lap then. So that's where we're at here, ladies and gentlemen. But that is a good question. Just a girl agrees. Just one wide receiver, one OL. Tate at 6, though. Plenty of top offensive linemen available in the 1st round. You'd think that, but there's not going to be. Well, it depends, because they traded for Titus Howard. All right, their plan is to play him at tackle. And then I don't know what they want to do with DeJuan Jones. They're trying to get him back from injury. Quite frankly, I don't need DeJuan Jones to come back and start at left tackle. I'd much rather Monroe Freeling, who's the only really true left tackle in the draft, and you're only getting him early in the draft all of a sudden. But if you want Tate at 6, then who would you pick at 24? Just a girl. Joshua Miller. Got a couple super chats coming in. Let's go. Let's get to those. Make sure you smash that like button if you're here in the stream. 155 people watching. We're about to start the show and talking about all the Browns news that is coming up today. But let's give a shout out to Geo Dit, my man Geo Dit 42 with the $5 super chat, getting the party started. Nothing matters until we fix the offensive line. Thank you, Geo Dit. This is what I'm trying to say, people. Love Carnell Tate. I love everybody. I love all the receivers that you're throwing at me. That's great. If you don't have an offensive line, it's not going to matter. It is not going to matter. Carnell Tate averaged 17 yards per reception at Ohio State. That's phenomenal. Those plays take time to develop. All right? We didn't have that kind of time last year. So, O-line, O-line, O-line. Number one priority. Guarantee you, we could run the same team out next year with a completely different O-line. Instead of the worst O-line in the league, best O-line in the league, it would look miles different. You would be shocked at how Shedeur's stats would look, even Judy's stats would look if there was time to throw. Promise you that. So O-line, 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 number one priority. And yes, we need a dog wide receiver in that room. We do need a wide receiver one. This draft class is very deep with wide receivers, though. I was just listening to Mel Kiper earlier today. He said teams are going to wait on wide receivers in the first round because they know they can get one later. So I agree. The linemen are going to run out, though, past the top of the draft. So I'm not going to be mad because I love Tate. I love Lemon. But I would low-key go O-line first. Make sure that's in order. And I would use one of your seconds I would use your second or your third on another lineman as well. If Vega falls to 24, then that's the real dream. Then you could get Tate and Vega. Sure, I'm in on that. Lemon and Vega, I'm in on that. But he's probably going to go a little before that. Maybe, or at least he wouldn't get past the Chargers down there in the 20s or the Eagles, maybe, Ravens, yeah. Be aggressive in free agency getting offensive line. It's true. They don't have as much cap as the other teams, but they better get one. They better get one of them. I like the trade back with Dallas, yeah. That's my dream here. Freeling in Boston, says user. See, that's okay. Or Cooper, Omar Cooper.
He's not bad. He does very well on the 50-50 ball.
Yeah, he's got a good prototypical wide receiver build, again, of like 6'2", kind of like Jordan Tyson in that sense. And like you said, he can rise up and get it.
He can also come into clutch.
Yeah. Joshua Miller, $2 super chat. Thank you, my friend. Trade down from 6. We need a second and first in 2027. Hey, man, we could do that. The next year's class is going to be pretty stacked as well, especially the quarterback class next year if you think you need one by that point still. But I don't know. Would you consider Dallas's first round picks this year, 12 and 20, or would you rather one in 2027? It's a good question from Joshua Miller. But I love the trade down idea as well. Sure, I would take a first in 27 also to move down a bit. Absolutely. I don't know. Boston's getting a lot of buzz though too.
You know who else? I feel like he's getting more buzz as Ted.
Oh yeah, as a late round pick. Ted Hurst, yeah. I like.
He had good comp.
Yeah. We were talking about this off camera a bit. I like Zach. I think Zachariah Branch is getting underrated.
I'm honestly surprised he's getting underrated. He played well in college.
He did. I think he'd be perfect for Todd Monken.
Yeah, well, he's a Georgia guy. So he's
Georgia guy,
used to the system.
fast. He's a screen merchant too, which
Which fits well
which is
with
what we
football.
need. Look, which is what we needed last year at least. He's really good yards after the catch. Like just get it to him. Well, we just need yardage, man. Like this offense was stale last year.
I know you like a lot of people like Makai Lemon, but if you think about it, you pass on Makai Lemon and Zachariah Branch later.
Right.
He'll be
Right. That's what I was thinking. So that's why maybe you could go Tate, O-line, Branch later, or O-line, Tyson or Cooper late too. Like, listen, there's a lot of ways they can win the draft. Just make sure they don't do the one thing that messes it up, which please don't find a way to mess it up, Barry. Barry's if he's fired. If he misses this draft, he's fired. He had one good draft class. It was last year.
So would you rather have messed it up? Or would you rather do well just another 2 more years of
No, as much as Barry is literally like up and down, Andrew Barry will, he'll make a move and you'll be like, Andrew Barry's a genius. And then he'll make a move and we'll be like, oh my gosh, Barry is an idiot. He is literally the up and down experience, roller coaster. So I would rather he smashes this draft again. What do you think you can get for Dylan Gabriel? I'll take anything. Just get him off our hands, get him off the team. Best case scenario, probably get a 5th-round pick for him to go to Atlanta with Kevin Stefanski.
Another $2 super chat from Joshua Miller. What happened to the insurance credit for T. Watson?
Joshua Miller to 2, my friend. Appreciate that. We talked about this a bit on the last live stream. Nothing's been officially reported yet. Now, there was something in his contract that about $40 million of the salary would be covered if he didn't play. But he did come back to practice, and so is the insurance company going to do what insurance companies do and say, well, he was healthy, you just didn't play him, so we're not giving you the relief? We'll have to look into that. The minute I hear something, I'll report it to you, Joshua Miller. But nothing's been reported on his insurance credit yet for Watson. All we know is that he has an $80 million cap hit for being on the roster next season, and that he will probably be on the roster next season. Because of that, they're not going to be able to cut him. Probably not getting a trade partner for Watson either at this point. But no, nothing has been heard. I haven't heard many updates on that. Doesn't necessarily correlate to cap relief either, I'm reading. Who said that? Oh, Live Front. I don't want Sadiq. Nah. First round pick on a tight end, it's not what we need. We need linemen and receivers. And honestly, Sadiq had drop problems at Oregon. He's an athletic freak. We've got Fannin.
He's kind of like how Kyle Pitts. They're very similar in how they play.
Which is a bad sign.
I mean, you can also give you a 40-point fantasy point. You never know.
Yeah, for the first time in 5 years. Which, by the way, the Falcons apparently are open to trading Kyle Pitts. That was a rumor today. Yeah, I don't need Sadiq, though. I would much rather that pick go to wide receiver or offensive line because you need one of each in the first round, I think. Unless the cards fall where it's like, I don't know. Like, this is what's so fun about draft is you don't know who's going to be there until draft day. What if you take Tate and then Tyson's there at 24? Do you just double up?
And is it just me, or does this draft in particular feel like there's a lot of fun involved in this year's draft?
There's a lot of fun in this year's draft.
I mean, the wide receivers, like all the talk about the combine with these wide receivers, I think really has taken control.
Oh, it's a lot of fun.
It's awesome. I personally enjoyed it.
And then same concept. If you take Freeling early and then Vega's there at 24,
you
can double up.
I think that's probably the dream scenario for a Browns fan. To get two offensive linemen in the first round.
Yeah.
They're probably not the sexiest picks out there, but to be honest with you, you need to protect Shedeur Sanders. That's got to be the first priority.
That's right, Gage. And then second round, you get a receiver. What if Cooper falls? What if your Tennessee guy you like?
Chris Brazzell.
He'll be there.
He'll definitely be there.
Branch will be there later.
I think that Branch will probably be like a third rounder. I'd say like second or third rounder. And like I said, if you get him for a cheaper deal, that's a steal. Because he's going to be. I think he's going to do very, very well in the NFL. I know you like Zachariah Branch as well.
Yeah.
I think he's going to do very, very well in the NFL.
Oh yeah, exactly. What's this? Cowboys. Oh, okay. Cowboys lineman just became an unrestricted free agent. Brock Hoffman. Another Cleveland Browns target, perhaps? Is the center for the Cowboys?
No, it's brother.
Linderbaum. He's only 26 years old. Gio did. Oh, I'm talking about that today, Gio. I like that. Diggs as well. We had some Diggs news. Make sure you smash the like button if you haven't already. Let's get to 50 likes to start the show. 173 people in the building. Tap the like button. If you love the Brownies, you want to talk Browns football with me. I love doing these lives, man, because It's a community thing. We all get together. We all talk Browns football. Yeah, let's talk about the news that came out before we got live here. Stefon Diggs, Pro Bowl wide receiver 4 times. He's being released. The Patriots told him that they're going to release him at the start of the league year, which is next week per sources, okay? Obviously, the Browns need a wide receiver. Obviously, Stefon Diggs has been a wide receiver one in multiple different systems and a Pro Bowler. A lot of off-field issues with Stefon Diggs, though, that quite frankly, I don't really want any part of. So, what do you guys think about Stefon Diggs, man? Do you think Cleveland should try to sign him at 32 years old as a wide receiver one in the room? Comment your thoughts on Stefon Diggs being added to the wide receiver room. Shout out to the other super chats that have come in. Our boy Gio. No, we could hit that before, I think, right? Yeah, let's do that. Go Browns. Gio says, Diggs, hard pass. Too much drama. I'm passing on him as well. If he was younger, maybe. But no, not 32-year-old Stefon Diggs. Gio, $5 super chat. Shout out to you, my friend. Supposedly, Browns are targeting OT Rasheed Walker. Home run if we could land him in free agency. Oh, Gio, don't you worry. We're talking Rasheed Walker on the show today. He has been linked to the Browns in a couple different sources, ESPN source as well. He's an above-average tackle. I'll say that. I'll say he's going to be pricey and more expensive than you think, but he's the only true left tackle in free agency, and that's what Cleveland needs because they got Titus Howard, who they think is a tackle, and he played right tackle his whole time there in Houston. He also played guard, but seems like he wants to play tackle. Browns are going to play him at tackle, so you really are only in the market for left tackles if that's the case, and that means Rasheed Walker, who I just don't want to overpay Rasheed Walker. That's the deal. I'm in on bringing him in, though, because, yes, that's a W. You're trying to rebuild this line quick, get some free agents, get a trade lineman, and then a couple rookie draft ones. Maybe you re-sign Batonio, too. Now we got something we can work with, okay? It's the first step in rebuilding it. Shout out to Gio for $5 super chat, man. If you guys want to be part of the show, send in your super chats. We'll automatically put you in the mailbag if you share a question or take in a super chat. So just like this from Gio. Again, shout out to my guy sending in $2 super chat. He said, Diggs, ... hard pass. We're out on Diggs. We're out on Diggs. He's probably better than Jerry Jeudy, but we are out on Diggs. Too old, too much drama, way too many off-field issues. I mean, we're not even talking about the brunt of the issues, man. You saw the thing of him on the boat? Stefon Diggs on the boat? Yeah, you don't want Stefon Diggs in the locker room. No. He's also 32. Like, he's not past his prime. Let's get a rookie. Yeah. Exactly. All right. Look at this. We got 67 likes. It's perfect. All right, we got a ton of Browns news to get to, so let's get into the first segment here, which is all 3 Browns rumors. This is going to be a fun one, folks, okay? This is blowing up on Twitter right now. My Twitter, in fact. So give me a follow if you haven't already. But it's blowing up, and we're going to talk about 3 different Browns rumors that have come out recently. So this will be a fun first segment. Like I said, if you want to be in the show, get a shout-out, put on screen, send in a super chat. We'll do a Q&A at the end of the show, where we'll get to all your questions and record it, put it on YouTube. So without further ado, I say we dive into the first segment of the show. Producer Gage, do you like to play intro or splice after? Okay. Alrighty, Mr. Gage. Sounds good to me. Let's talk about some Browns rumors today, folks. We will get right in here to our first segment. Let's do it, Mr. Gage. Coming up on today's show is a Browns draft day trade gonna go down. We've got a new rumor to take a look at here between the Browns and Vikings. Then it's another quarterback rumor for NFL free agency, okay? NFL Insider Mike Florio links the Browns to another vet QB that could come on in and compete. Finally, update on Carnell Tate. I know the Browns fans love him. The Browns fans want him to stay in Ohio. A lot of controversy about his 40 time going around. Adam Schefter tries to set the record straight. That's what's coming up on today's show. I'm excited for this one, folks, so welcome into the Browns Report. I'm your host, Joey O'Donohue, and if you're ready to party this offseason and this St. Patrick's Day, let me tell you guys about some awesome merch we've got going here, and we'll dive right into the rumors. Go to chatsports.com/BrownsGreen. Be a part of the Cleveland drinking team. Seeing a lot of people going out, buying them, and I love to see that. We're ready to party for St. Patrick's Day. Cool, limited edition design. Wear some green. Be festive while repping the dog pound. I think it's the perfect way to celebrate. So go get yourself a Cleveland drinking team shirt. And if you're there and you need a hat to pair it with, we've got Beers hats at chatsports.com/beers. Check it out. Get one with the shirt. You can go all in. If you're a party animal, you want to party that hard on St. Patrick's Day, well, we got Beers hats for you to pair with the Cleveland drinking team shirts at chatsports.com/beers. Those links will be in the comment section and description of today's video. Plenty of colors for the hat as well if you don't want to do the all green look. But I'd probably deck myself out in all green for St. Patrick's Day. Up to you guys. But you got to go to chatsports.com/beers and chatsports.com/brownsgreen to find them from us. So, Vikings wide receiver Jordan Addison is in trade rumors. What? That's right. A lot of buzz on Minnesota side of things. Minnesota stations that cover the Vikings exclusively think Addison is a prime trade candidate. Not a lot of people on this yet, but why? Well, Jordan Addison, a couple things. A lot of off-field issues have surfaced for Jordan Addison. I don't want to say a lot. It's not like they're crazy, but, speeding, DUI, a couple of those things have come up in the past couple of years for Jordan Addison. It seems like Kevin O'Connell and the Vikings might want to ship him out here while he has some value. They're also unlikely to pay Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson, according to Vikings insiders. Jefferson going to get $25, $30 million. When they need to extend Addison, they're probably not going to do it, so they might trade him, and he'll be a free agent in 2028, so still on that rookie deal, which could benefit a team that receives him. And our Vikings host, Patrick Seatman, if you don't know, he says if the Vikings get a second-round pick for Jordan Addison, they will take it. The deal will get done. And then Seeps went on to list possible Addison destinations, and we are hearing that the Cleveland Browns would be one of them if a trade goes down. A lot of teams that need wide receivers right now, Bills, Patriots, Browns, our rival Steelers. I would not want them to get him, and obviously the Denver Broncos as well. But the Browns are in this mix. Been a lot of rumors that they are calling around the league for different wide receivers, and I actually took to Twitter and posted the mock trade that Seeps and I had come up with here. It's going viral on Twitter. So if you don't follow me on X, go over. Give me a follow at Joey070. Don't miss out on all the fun that we're having on Twitter with this Browns fans. But basically the idea was that the Vikings desperately need a good defensive player that Brian Flores can get the most out of, like a Caleb Downs, who's just a surefire hit, like a Sonny Styles. And that if one of them's there at pick 6, the Vikings would call to move up. And it would be a pick swap, so the Browns would go down to 18, still in the first round, and they would acquire Jordan Addison. It's a very interesting concept to think about. If the Browns do this deal specifically, they'd still have 2 first-round picks. You'd have 18, you'd have 24, and you'd also get Jordan Addison. Does that entice you at all? I do think Jordan Addison is a very talented wide receiver. I think he's underrated. I think I've been a big fan of his game for a little while. Look at some of the numbers on your screen. He could be a touchdown machine at different points in 2024, 2023. Bit of a down year last year for Addison, for sure. Only played 14 games as opposed to a full 17, but, his rookie year really came on the scene. When Jefferson was out, Addison looks like a true wide receiver one. He can play that role, I would really believe. And maybe some Browns fans remember Jordan Addison a little bit more because of the London game when we were live. Game-winning touchdown drive by Carson Wentz to Jordan Addison in Dylan Gabriel's first start. Not good memories here for us, but you saw a little bit of flashes of what Addison can do on the road here. Falling away, game-winning touchdown. Jim Schwartz's defense, one of the only bad spots of last year, I would say, is this final drive when they let Carson Wentz go down the field and win that football game. But there is the off-field issues with Jordan Addison to consider, and I would really consider them. I mean, there's a history. There's a history, folks. I know Myles Garrett and Shedeur Sanders have been caught for speeding, but Addison was going 140 of the summer of his rookie season. He was also arrested on suspicion of a DUI in Los Angeles in 2024, suspended for the first quarter of the Browns games because he missed walkthrough, and then he was arrested for trespassing at a casino in 2026. So that's once a year you're getting something with Addison. But if we're going by the numbers here, the stats, if you will, which it's not great that there is stats on that. But I'll say this about Jordan Addison. I believe in his talent. I believe in his ability as a wide receiver in the National Football League. I'm not doing the first-round pick swap for him. I think that's a little much. Now, if it's a third-rounder, second-rounder for Jordan Addison, I'm listening to you. I'm listening to you a little bit here. But it's not that bad of an idea when you think that Cleveland still does have 2 first-round picks and acquires Jordan Addison. But is he your automatic number 1? I might be more enticed by a rookie like Carnell Tate, what he could be, what Mekhi Lemon could be, what Jordan Tyson could be as an immediate number 1 on a rookie deal, right? Addison, to me, feels like a very high-end wide receiver 2, low-end wide receiver 1. So I'd do it for the second or third, not necessarily the first. What do you think, though? This is a trade idea that's been going around. Would you accept it? Type Y for yes, type N for no. It's basically Browns and Vikings swap first-round picks, and Cleveland gets Jordan Addison. So give me a letter in the comments section. Would you do this? Let me know in that comment section. Next thing on the show is a free agency quarterback rumor that is going around now all of a sudden. This one from NBC's Mike Florio, NFL insider, says this. I'm intrigued by Kirk Cousins because I think he played incredibly well in 2025. Now that he's fully healthy, he looks like a different guy. Maybe he looks at the Browns. Maybe he believes in Todd Monken. Maybe they are a competent week in and week out starting quarterback with veteran experience away from being better than they've been. I'll give that last point to Florio because I do think we're closer than people realize. You know, the way that defense played last year, man, you just need an O-line, and I think we'd be competitive here. Kirk Cousins closed the season 4-0 in Atlanta as a starter. You know, he did play relatively well. Now, can't move, doesn't have the big arm anymore. I mean, almost a noodle arm a little bit on Kirk. It's not terrible, but he's much older. And the report is that Kirk Cousins wants to start this year. He doesn't want to back up. He wants, from his agent, he wants to play, have an opportunity to compete, and be the starting quarterback of a football team. What we do know is the Browns are doing research on different quarterbacks. Okay, Monken, Andrew Berry, they've said, we're looking externally, we're looking internally at Shedeur versus Watson. I'm done with Gabriel. I don't care if they say Gabriel's in the mix. He's not in the mix. We know that they're doing research on all the possible quarterbacks to start, though. Could they bring in Kirk on a 1-year deal to get you to next year? That would be the way this gets done. But Kirk, who wants to start, I'm not confident he's the better option. I'm not confident he'd be better than Shedeur in a training camp battle. So for what it's going to cost to get Kirk, it's actually going to be more money than you think. It's not going to be a vet minimum 1-year deal. That's what Kyler Murray would be. I'd much rather bring Kyler Murray into the mix for $1.3 million on a 1-year deal or $1.3 million salary on however many years they would sign Kyler for. Kirk is going to be more than that. And for a year, it doesn't seem like a good use of the cap space for the Brownies. But what say you? Should the Browns sign Kirk Cousins, bring him into this mix? Type S for sign, type D for don't. NBC's Mike Florio thinks that there's real rumors here for Kirko Chains to come on over to Cleveland, but I don't see it happening. I think that's a quarterback battle that he would have to win. I don't have faith he'd win that battle, and I think it'd be a little bit of a waste of your cap space. You've got the veteran in Deshaun Watson, like it or not. He's going to be on the roster next year. So Kirko's not necessarily my answer, even though I loved his prime and fiery Kirko Chains when he was screaming, "You like that?" It's not the same guy anymore, though. Let me know in the comment section. All right, finally, we'll wrap things up here with Carnell Tate. People concerned about the 40 time. Unofficial, official, 4.52, 4.53 when it clocked in after Carnell Tate. People thinking, well, hold on a minute, that's a little bit slow. That's a little bit slower than we thought it would be. So let's set the record straight. Adam Schefter came out and reported Carnell Tate, potential top 10 pick, was timed by several NFL executives and GMs Saturday, with a 40 time in the range of 4.45 to 4.47. So although the Combine registers official times, teams always conduct their own timing. And those measurements with some teams were lower than his clocked 4.52. Now, some people are saying, hey, Schefter, his agent told him to say this to make Carnell Tate's value look a little bit better. Okay, speculation there. But Schefter called out someone who reported that, said this on Twitter to Pro Football Talk, just to prove you're wrong again. Schefter tweeted multiple screenshots of texts with different GMs saying, what time did you have for Carnell Tate? And they said, we got 4.47, we got 4.45, we got 4.4, we got 4.46. And so perhaps there really is validity to the fact that Carnell Tate's official 40 time at the Combine is not a representation, a reflection of how fast he actually is. And my take on all of this, and getting Carnell Tate anyway in the first round, the Browns just need to come out of this draft, this first round, with multiple offensive linemen and a wide receiver 1. The order that you do that in, I could go either way on, because I love Tate and Lemon. I really do. I like their games a lot. So I would be happy with Tate and Lemon, get your stud at pick 6, and then get an offensive lineman later. But I also think you're not going to get the top offensive lineman later in that draft. You will get top receivers later in this draft. So perhaps go offensive line first with pick 6, get your Monroe Freeling. Trade down and get Freeling or Maui Noah or Fano. And then you can get Omar Cooper. Perhaps you can get Jordan Tyson. You can get really lucky and get Mekhi Lemon at 24, but I think that's very unlikely. That is how I would do this. If you at least get a wide receiver and offensive lineman in the first round, or double down on one of them and the second round is used on the other, it's fine. That's your priority, though. Okay? Let me know in the comment section, though. Does Carnell Tate factor into that for you? Do you want the Browns to draft Carnell Tate? Type T for Tate. Type P for pass. Would you draft him at that 6th pick? Let me know in the comment section if you want Carnell Tate to be the Browns pick at 6. I think it's an intriguing debate that we're going to have leading up all the way until April. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. Appreciate all the Browns fans tuning in to the Browns Support by Chat Sports. Love you guys that watch. Shout out to all of you. We'll have more Browns videos coming your way very soon. So hit that sub button. We'll see you next time. Cool. Cool. Joshua Miller. $2 super chat. Yes. Gage and I were just talking about that. RIP to Lou Holtz, man. Great coach, great person. Good personality on game day. That was pretty shocking. That was definitely pretty shocking.
Yeah, he was a legend, college football legend. For any college football fans that are out there, he pretty much kept he's one of the elites, I'd say. He's up there with the OG legendary college football head coaches you think of. Like, you think of Nick Saban, you think of Kirby Smart getting to that echelon pretty soon.
Yeah.
I'd say Lou Holtz is up there as well. Like with the Mount Rushmore college football head coaches.
Yeah. Absolutely. Like I said, folks, we've got 2 more segments to get into for the Brownies. So if you want to be a part of the show, send super chat in. Shout out to Joshua Miller and Geo Dip for doing it. $5 super chat from Geo. What a legend. I've heard Mac Jones as a possibility in free agency. Shout out to Geo with the $5 super chat. Thing with Mac Jones is he'll be a trade. They're not going to release him, Geo. So they're actually going to want a decent draft pick for Mac Jones. So I'm a no-go at all on Mac Jones. Now, could he be the next Sam Darnold? Perhaps he could be. I don't think that he would be that with the Browns, though. Not in on that. Yeah. Yeah. Mac Jones and Ty Simpson I see similarities there. For sure. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. It's a studio updates thing. I do have one. I've never done it. Yeah. Yeah. Gio. Oh, that is a good question from Gio right there. About Caden Proctor. We'll get that up on the screen. Yeah. Caden Proctor?
No, there's two Proctors. Aiden Proctor from Alabama.
Yeah.
Southeastern Louisiana, they have a Caleb Proctor.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think he's defensive tackle or offensive.
Oh, yeah, he is. Yeah,
He's underrated,
yeah. Yeah, no, this one's about the Bama tackle. But, yeah, we can get Gio up on the screen. Oh, okay. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if they went Proctor because he played left tackle, but I'm not high on him. I think he's.
How many Georgia players do you think they'll draft now they have Todd Monken? He's familiar with how Kirby Smart coaches.
Yeah.
And you think about it, like the Georgia trenches have done very, very well in the NFL under Kirby Smart.
I mean, it might be too early. He might draft. Monken might draft Freeling and Branch.
That's what I'm thinking.
I can definitely see that. I could definitely see that, yeah. We shall see. But I don't mind Tate, too. He definitely is the wide receiver 1 automatically. But also, people say, I mean, he was a wide receiver 2, though, last year. You know?
Yeah. Well, who was number 1 last year?
Jeremiah Smith.
Oh, you meant like I thought you meant like in the draft class.
No.
Oh, you meant for Ohio State wide receiver.
Yeah.
Well, next year it's not confirmed yet because next year I think Jeremiah Smith is draft eligible next year. He was only sophomore.
Yeah. Next year for Jeremiah Smith. So, and Malachi Toney. It's going to be some good wide receivers next year as well.
Yeah. No, wait, Malachi's only a freshman. He's only sophomore.
Is he?
Yeah, he was a freshman. He was 18 years old when he was in the ESPN national title.
Wow.
So I think he has the 2028 draft class.
Oh.
Which I don't know how that would do with this wide receiver class this year. I think Chase Sowell, if he has a good year at Penn State, transferred from Iowa State, if he does well there, he can possibly bring him.
Yeah. Sounds good. Here it is from Gio, $2 super chat. Caden Proctor at 24. I'm not a big a fan of Proctor's game, to be honest. I think he's big and slow. Kind of reminds me of DeJuan Jones. I mean, he's experienced. Like, he's been in college for a while. He's also versatile. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if this was the pick, but he's not my favorite. I like Freeling better. I like Fano better. I like Maui Noah better. I'd rather take Lomu, honestly, as well, who maybe just needs to be a little bit stronger, but he's a way quicker, good footwork. Oh, I like Jennings Dunker a lot later in the draft, too.
I love the flow.
I love him.
Yeah.
Blake Miller, I like a lot, too. Late first, early second, it looks like he'll go. I like Keelan Rutledge, guard you can get late also. There's some linemen that you can get. You can get at least 2 or 3 of this rookies to bring in. What do we agree with Robert about? Things we need. Offensive line. We can't win unless we block the other guys. Yeah. No, that's the number 1 point right there. Nothing works unless the O-line gets fixed. That's why I'm in on O-line, man. All right, next segment is about free agents, though. Let's get to it. Free agent targets for the Browns. Who should they sign? We will talk about that. And remember, if you want to get on the show, put in a super chat. Shout out Gio Dit. Shout out Joshua Miller. We're going to do a mailbag at the end where we answer all your questions. So get questions in with the hashtag Browns and also super chat. Share a question or take with the hashtag Browns next to it like I just did in the live chat. So let me know. All right, folks. Next segment is going to be the free agents that Cleveland should sign. Okay, let's write this ship right away. We ready?
Ready to roll, my friend.
All righty, Mr. Gage. Let's do it.
3, 2, 1.
Welcome into the Browns Report, everybody. On today's show, we're talking about the top Browns free agent targets on offense in 2026. That's the biggest issue for Cleveland, is getting the offense moving. There's a lot of guys that could bring in to help do that. I'm your host, Joey O'Donohue, diehard Browns fan. If you are too, can we get to 73,000 subscribers today? This is what the community has been built to. This is awesome to see. We're at 72,512. You guys are the best for that. Only 488 away from 73K. So if you hit that sub button for free, we'll get you daily free Browns shows. If you love the dog pound of this your team, hit the subscribe button, and let's get into the video. We are talking free agent targets for the Brownies, and the number one I'm going to list here is the number one position in need, and that's an offensive lineman, center, Tyler Linderbaum. Can he come on over from the Ravens to follow Todd Monken, to follow his offensive line coach last year, George Warhop? If you don't know, the Browns' offensive line coach this year is the Ravens last year. Todd Monken brought him over, and Linderbaum, best lineman on the market. You could talk to all the scouts. You could talk to all the analysts. Everybody, from what I'm hearing, has Linderbaum at number one, which means he's going to get a big deal. But look at some of the numbers in his career. I mean, the run blocking stands out the most. Those are his PFF run blocking grades. Overall, it's pretty solid too. But he's just such a dominant run blocker. As a center, that is what you want. This is the guy you need snapping the ball. But the money is where it gets tricky. Okay, Eric DeCosta, Ravens front office here, says the Baltimore Ravens have made a market-setting offer to Tyler Linderbaum, which means for that position, it's at least $18 million, probably more like $20 million a year for Linderbaum. Might be north of $22 million a year. That's pricey. Now, because this has not been snap agreed or anything, I think Linderbaum's going to test free agency. I think he's going to talk to Todd Monken and different teams because he's going to have a big market here. And his agent's like, well, hold on. Let's see what you can get on the open market. So my take on that is he would be expensive, but it's exactly what the Browns need. You can't get a center many other places, you know. The draft, I don't see a lot of centers falling to Cleveland, and the ones that do, you know, second round, third round, like Jake Slaughter, those picks Cleveland is going to use to get the stud defensive guys in the class or wide receiver. So I love Linderbaum. I want him in Cleveland. I would use him as the big splash in free agency. You get one this year probably. I would pick Linderbaum. Next up, let's talk about another former Raven perhaps, and that is Isaiah Likely, tight end, who could also follow Todd Monken to the Cleveland Browns. Is that possible? Well, I will say this about Isaiah Likely. I think he's super talented. I think he's super athletic, and I would absolutely be in on bringing him over. But why do I have a tight end on the list? Why is tight end a thing here? Well, remember, David Njoku took to Instagram and said he's going to test free agency. He is leaving the Cleveland Browns. He will no longer be in the city with the dog pound, emotional goodbye. And so we're losing Njoku. Okay, Fannin's our tight end one of the future. But we loved running two tight end sets. Monken definitely did. The Browns in years past in history definitely do. So they're going to go out and get a second one. It's a matter of who. I think Isaiah Likely is one of the best tight end options you could get here in free agency to be that guy. Why? Because he's young, 25 years old. He's on kind of a prove-it situation, right? He missed some games, but he's super athletic, versatile, good blocker as well. Same type of idea with Fannin where he wins 50-50 balls. You're comfortable with him one-on-one with linebacker or anybody who's matched up against because of his athleticism. Chess piece tight end, can do it all. Maybe you get him for about $9 million a year, which in the grand scheme of things, not too bad for a tight end that could be a key piece for your offense. And at the NFL Combine, a lot of sources said that many teams are interested in Isaiah Likely. I believe the Browns are one of those teams. And, man, if you paired them together, Likely and Fannin, what a duo that would look like, man. Fannin is an absolute stud. I'm expecting – he already had a breakout season in his rookie year. leading the team in receiving yards, I'm expecting 1,000-yard receiving or close to that. He's going to break out again, folks. Fannin is an absolute freak. As long as he stays healthy, he's a reception machine. He's a yards after catch machine. He was Shedeur's favorite target. He was Flacco's favorite target, even Gabriel's. Like, everybody just kept going to him because he's open, because he's reliable, because he catches the football. Harold Fannin is going to have an incredible year next year. And if you paired him with Likely, oh, man, our offense is starting to look good. I'm starting to fantasize here, salivate about what it could be. And these two could really help out. So what do you think, Browns fans? Should the Browns go out there and sign in free agency Tyler Linderbaum, type TL, Isaiah Likely, type IL, or both? You want them both? I certainly do. Type B for both if you're in on both of these two guys, a new center, new tight end. Let me know in the comments section. But I think we're building something here, okay? If we make the right couple of moves, we're going to fast-track this thing. It's not a rebuild. It's just get the O-line right, another pass catcher, and all of a sudden, we'll look pretty good. We're going to surprise some folks. Speaking of linemen, though, we're not done. I'm going to put Elijah Vera Tucker on the list because a lot of the big-name offensive linemen are going to get paid massive deals that Cleveland can't compete with, especially if you're already getting Linderbaum. And so a cheaper option who was once very, very good in 2024 in AVT is one that I'd be in on. Now, why do we not have PFF stats or stats for 2025? Because AVT missed the entire season with a torn tricep injury before the year started. Last time he was out there, though, pretty good PFF grades, and he's versatile. As a guard, look, he does it all, pass blocking and run blocking. A lot of times when you see these numbers, you see a guard that excels in one and not the other. AVT, very solid in both pass blocking and run blocking, which is what we need. Judkins and Shedeur both get hit immediately in the backfield when they took the snap, okay? We need a guy that can do both. And so I like Vera Tucker for that reason. He's only 26 years old still. Now, what could you get him for? According to Spotrac, you're probably looking at the double digits, but the low end of it, 10 to 12 million a year for AVT, a young, versatile guard. But I think because he's not getting as much buzz as some of these other guys, it could be one that sneaks under the radar, Cleveland brings in, and all of a sudden, boom, you've got guard figured out too. Perhaps you bring back Petonio and AVT. Now we're talking, we're building something here, folks. And so I've got him on my list as a potential free agent target for the Brownies. We've got a couple more to look at, so do not go anywhere. But before we do that, let's tell you about today's awesome sponsor, and that is Prize Picks. Shoot your shot on Prize Picks. Get $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. That's right. Prize Picks is now giving you $50 in lineups when you sign up and play your first $5. Prize Picks makes every dunk, every dime, every board that much more exciting. So don't miss this chance to get started on America's #1 app for sports picks. I got the app, and I've been playing ever since. Make sure to check if Prize Picks is available in your state today. It probably is. They're available in 50 states. Prize Picks is simple to play. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. If you get your picks right, you could cash in. Pick from all your favorite sports, anything from baseball, basketball, hockey, UFC, soccer, college basketball, tennis, golf, esports, and more. Join millions of users and sign up for America's #1 sports picks app. And I'm going all in on golf. All right, Rory McIlroy, less than 71 strokes, and Scotty Scheffler, less than 7.5 strokes. I'm expecting big days from the best in the business. So download the Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. It's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It is good to be right. This next one might be a surprise to people, but I have Wan'Dale Robinson on the list. I had to put a wide receiver on here. I also had to not go too crazy here because I've got to spend pretty big on Linderbaum. You're not going to be able to get a ton of free agents, and so Wan'Dale is a very intriguing one to me. And reports have come out that the Browns are interested in free agent wide receiver Wan'Dale Robinson, that they are doing homework on him and want to meet with him, perhaps sign him to this roster. I actually like the idea of bringing in Wan'Dale Robinson. I think people overlook him because of his size, but his speed is there. His route running is incredible. CeeDee Lamb said before the season that Wan'Dale Robinson is a sleeper. He's got some of the best routes in the league. And he just had a 1,000-yard season last year with the New York Giants in 2025. So could be a big play guy, slot receiver. I think this is an intriguing wide receiver option for the Brownies. And specifically, because everybody wants us to draft Carnell Tate. If you do that and sign Wandale, now we've got a good wide receiver room. Think about it. Draft Carnell Tate. He's your outside guy, polished guy, deep plays, as well as just reliable target, catch the football. Wandale, speedy, shifty, going to play in the slot and get open. Now you've got multiple options for Shedeur or whoever plays quarterback for the Brownies, okay? I love that. Great slot, great outside, and then you'll still have Jerry Jeudy. If Jeudy can't win against cornerback twos, we've got other problems. Same with Isaiah Bond. Bond is your deep shot guy, streaking down the field. Then you've got Wandale in the slot, and then you've got Carnell Tate outside. Come on, now we're building the room here. I like that a lot. And so if you want Carnell Tate, I expect the Browns to sign Wandale. Again, draft plan affects a lot of this, right? If they do want to go with Mekhi Lemon, then I don't see them getting a guy like Wandale Robinson. But this is all with the assumption here that 6th pick goes to the Ohio State wide receiver, and you get this room going. So you tell me. Should the Browns sign Wandale Robinson? Type Y for yes, type N for no in the comments section. But we are building something here. Okay, my picks are thought out with what the Browns could do in all of the offseason. I also want to make sure we draft offensive linemen. Don't worry, I'm not forgetting about that. But let me know what you think about Wandale coming to Cleveland. Finally, we'll wrap off the list with an offensive tackle, Rasheed Walker, Green Bay Packers left tackle last year, and I think this is one that is very intriguing for the Brownies. He's been linked to the Browns by multiple different sources, so let's talk about Rasheed Walker as an actual option here for Cleveland. Listen, he's on the younger side, 26 years old, 6'6", 324, and ESPN put out a list of top free agents on the market, the top 100. Rasheed Walker's 5th on that list. Kind of surprised me that he's getting this much buzz here. He's going to get a payday in free agency next week. I promise you that. Bookmark me saying it. And Matt Bowen, ESPN analyst, said this specifically. With needs across the offensive line, the Browns should target Walker, the top offensive tackle on our board. His pass block win rate, 93.8% with the Packers. That was 11th among 68 qualifying offensive tackles in 2025. He should be viewed as an upgrade in Cleveland as new coach Todd Monken rebuilds that front, and that is the most important thing, to rebuild that front. He is one of the only left tackles in free agency. It's not even close that the disparity there. This is a thing. It's not a great market here in free agency for quarterback, for offensive line, right? For wide receiver even. Everything that you could argue we need. Walker is one of the only LTs, and he's the best one available. So do you go out and pay him? I mean, he's above average. He's not going to knock your socks off. You know, you're lucky if he makes the Pro Bowl, but he's a starter, solid. He can play left tackle for the Browns. And now we've got inside report here from Jordan Schultz. The position that is going to get crazy money next week is offensive line. Besides Tyler Linderbaum, who we know, some other big paydays are going to be Rasheed Walker, David Edwards of the Buffalo Bills, Jermaine Illuminor, another tackle Cleveland could look at. He's a little bit older, was playing for the Giants last year. Chris Paul, not the basketball player. Zion Johnson, Ed Ingram, Elijah Vera Tucker, who I brought up, and a couple other names. Connor McGovern, by the way, Bills guy who I would look at, and apparently is not going to be back with the Bills, so stay tuned there. But that is the group that's going to get the money. Everybody wants offensive linemen. It's very clear several teams are in on the same players. It's going to drive the price way up. So that's the issue here. I don't want to overpay a guy, but if you can get a couple of those names to come to Cleveland, that'll help build. We can get a couple others in the draft, and we just traded for one, Titus Howard. So lot to take in there, but that's my list of Brownies free agent targets. Be the GM for me. Comment the number one free agent that you think the Browns should sign, and I'll give you a couple honorable mentions. But get a name in the comment section. Number one player that you want the Browns to do, to bring in, to sign in NFL free agency. Honorable mention is going to be Mike Evans. Okay, we need wide receivers. Dude's 6'5", reliable, still balling. When he's healthy, still putting up 1,000-yard seasons. And why I also bring him up, this connection here, this familiarity. He actually worked with Todd Monken when Todd Monken was in Tampa Bay. So I could see this rumor potentially heating up. But ultimately, Evans is really getting old, getting up there in age, coming off injuries. And I think he's going to want too much money. So unlikely, but there is the Monken connection, so I mentioned it. Romeo Doubs, speaking of Packers guys that could come to Cleveland, here's a wide receiver option that could be pretty good for the Brownies, okay? Sometimes he's the wide receiver 3 in that Packers offense. Other times he's the wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2. And they've got so many different wide receivers around the same level, and injuries hurt that team too. So Dobbs steps up a lot when he's out there. I like his game. Depending on the price, I wouldn't mind if Cleveland signed Romeo Dobbs instead of Wan'Dale and then drafted a slot like Mekhi Lemon. Again, drafting free agency, as everybody knows that is a ball knower, those two things tie together so much in the decisions that you make, the type of players that you sign. So that's why I throw out a couple options for you guys, but I think there's multiple ways Cleveland could make the right decisions and revamp the offense like that. Give me a follow on all social media platforms here. If you're still hanging out with us, you're a real one. On Twitter, /X, JoeyO70. We're also on Instagram, Brown Support IG. Give me a follow there, and TikTok, JoeyO Brown. Browns content, short form, long form, all of it on all 3 platforms, and a lot of funny memes that you don't see on the show. So give me a follow. Appreciate you all, Browns fans. We'll see you next time here on the show. Cool. All right, Gage. Comment the number 1 free agent that you want the Brownies to bring in. NBA, Chris Paul? Yeah, that's who we're bringing in. Chris Paul is retiring from the NBA. That's actually true. He told the Raptors he's done because they tried to send him there. And so he's coming to the Browns. That's what it was. No, I'm just kidding, of course. Zoinks, bring in Robinson. Sure. Wan'Dale? Not Cam Robinson. Okay? Cam Robinson, free agent for the Browns, who's our left tackle last year. Worst player I've ever watched. Ever. Andrew Berry has to be aggressive on the offensive line of free agency, period. Tell him, Gio Dit. Mic drop, period. I mean, there's no excuse. It's the number 1 issue. It's the reason we're bad, quite frankly. It's the reason we're bad. Guarantee you we had a different O-line. Think about it. It's the worst O-line in the league. Make it the best O-line in the league, you wouldn't even recognize some of the guys. You'd be like, Jerry Jeudy's top 10 again. Actually, Jeudy just kept dropping the ball, so he sucked. But O-line makes a major difference. I can't even put in the words. That's how every team wins these days is offensive line. You win games in the trenches. It's the big boys up front. Why are the Seahawks and Sam Darnold so good all of a sudden? Fix the O-line. Chicago Bears, fix their O-line. Colts, when the Colts were good, it's because their O-line was so good. That's why Jonathan Taylor was so good. Nick Chubb, best running back in the league, in my opinion, in Cleveland. We had one of the best O-lines in the league with Bill Callahan. We did. Look it up. Look at the numbers. It's the most important thing for success in today's NFL. So you're going to draft some offensive linemen. You're going to sign 1 or 2 and trade for 1 or 2. You already did the trade. So boom. Boom. By the way, guys, we do these live shows every week, so make sure you subscribe to be a part of the Browns fan community. I love interacting with you guys. We're also going to be live all next week, folks, for free agency because news is going to break like that, so we're going to be ready. We are. Get ready. And last segment today is going to be the mailbag, so if you got a question, use the hashtag Browns or Super Chat to get on the show, and I will automatically put you in. If you send a Super Chat, we'll shout you out, or try to get in by using the hashtag Browns in the live chat and put a question or take next to the hashtag Browns so that producer Gage can go through and find your question, and he'll pick some good ones to answer here on today's show. So that's what's coming up. It's the last segment of the day. So we'll get ready to get going for that one. Shout out Robert Colbert. Already did the question. What would make a free agent OL go to Cleveland? Money? Oh, yeah? Hell yeah. Yes, that's right, Gio. I expect those contract restructures for Watson and Ward to come pretty soon. Pretty soon. Oh, really? All right, check it out. Check it out. All right, cool. Also, you could don't do the question about the Watson insurance. Yeah, you could start with the super chats. Jesus Christ, Chugs. Yes. Our guy Chugs just came in, tried to scare us, man. Let's bring Chugs on the show.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Oh yeah. Hey, this is our Texans host. Gave us Titus Howard.
Ask me anything about Titus Howard. You have me for 5 minutes.
Anybody have questions about Titus Howard? Chugs watched every snap of the Texans. Is that right? You watched
Yes, I went live for every game.
every snap of the Texans. So if anybody has questions for our Texans host, it could be about
Hey,
Titus.
Titus Howard, big V. Versatility. Plays anywhere. You need a left tackle? Titus Howard. Right
Versatility.
tackle, Titus Howard. Left guard.
Titus Howard.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
There we go, folks. There we go.
Until you're done with the live. Super chat, any questions? I'll come through, answer them around time.
Hell yeah. Also, it's C.J. Stroud rumors. Those are put to bed. We like Ohio State guys here.
Like a 4-year-old at 8 o'clock at night. They're put to bed, baby. C.J. Stroud's our guy. And don't have Shedeur.
That's right, babe. We don't need a quarterback. Chugs likes Shedeur too, right?
Totally.
Loves him. I love him. Jonathan Allen expected to be released by the Vikings. We're not going to be in the market for a DT, but that's pretty big news. Vikings need a clear cap, dude, just like we do. They're doing it, though. That's true. We gave Titus Howard a fat deal. That's a lot of money. All right, ready? All right, let's do the mailbag, folks. Oh, yeah, let's answer some questions. Oh, that's quite a name, Joshua Miller. I know, right? Is he a free agent? Oh, yeah, he's free agent now, yeah. Alrighty. Biotish is a free agent, yeah. Met with the Bears recently. All right. Let's do it. Rashid Shaheed, not close to an extension with the Seahawks, is expected to test the free agent market. Rashid Shaheed. He's a Brown. We're getting our wide receiver. Pat Wooey, LeGoat James, that's right. Bron's the GOAT. All righty, let's do it. Welcome into the Browns Report, everybody. We are doing a mailbag today where we answer everything that Browns fans want to know. If you want to be a part of these, make sure you join our live shows on Wednesdays about 5 p.m. Eastern. Don't miss out. We all get together and we get a community of Browns fans. We interact in the chat. It's a lot of fun. So if you want to be a part of those weekly lives, make sure you join on those. And also help me out on X before we dive into all the rumors, all right? We're getting close here to 600 followers. It has some good tweets lately. Browns fans are the ones that make it possible, so help me out. Also, I've been in a lot of Twitter battles lately. I've had to fight some Steelers fans. I need backup, so go on, give me a follow on X. Browns fans, help me out here. 13 followers away from 600 at Joey070. That's where you can find me, Joey070. All right, let's talk about the latest in Cleveland. First question we got here is a take from Gio Ditt in the $5 super chat. Appreciate you, man. Nothing matters until we fix the offensive line. Thank you, Gio, for putting it out there. This is the number one thing the Browns need to focus on, need to fix, need to worry about here in the offseason. You could draft the stud wide receivers all you want. You could even have whatever quarterback you want back there. Say Shedeur is a franchise guy. None of it matters unless the O-line holds up, unless there's time for plays to develop, for your quarterback to throw, for Judkins, who's an absolute stud. Why is he getting hit in the backfield every carry he gets in the back half of the season? O-line needs to be fixed, and so I think you draft at least one in the first round. Heck, I wouldn't even say you're crazy if you drafted an O-lineman at 6 and 24. It's that big of a need. But I do want a wide receiver 1 as well. So get offensive linemen, couple in the draft, 1 to 2 in free agency, and you traded for Titus Howard. So use every aspect of being a GM, trades, draft, free agency, to get linemen. You're going to need 5 new starters, perhaps. Perhaps. Don't know the case with Petonio yet. So I agree, Gio. Thanks for bringing that up. Joshua Miller. Would we rather have AVT, Biotish, or Tyler Linderbaum? Good question here. For me, Linderbaum's number 1. Now, he's going to be the most expensive, but it's because he's the best one, especially the ones you named here. Follow Todd Monken on over to Cleveland. Follow your old offensive line coach, George Warhop, who is now in Cleveland again. Center, you can't really get a top center anywhere else. So I love Linderbaum being that one. And then I really like AVT. I do think that Vera Tucker was very solid when he was out there in 2024. And he's a guard, fits that position of need. Now, if you did want to go with Biotish, he's a cheaper option you could run at center. So, I'm not out on that. But I just think Linderbaum could be a game changer for the Browns O-line. It helps just solidify that position right away. Anita Bath. That's a funny name right there. Mel Kiper said Shedeur needs to start again. Your thoughts? Question mark. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about QB1 for the last 7 games of the Browns season. Mel Kiper definitely still quadruples down that Shedeur is the franchise quarterback. I watched multiple clips the past few days. He went off again the other day saying Shedeur's QB1. He said, think about the rain, the wind, the snow that he played in. He said the line's terrible, the injuries. Now, there's a lot of fair points to be made there. Shedeur start specifically were a worse situation. Browns offensive line was bad all year. Shedeur was on the third stringers of the bad offensive line, right? Backup center. And then Luke Whippler got hurt as well. Like, Tevin Jenkins, Wyatt Teller rotating in and out. Both of them getting hurt. Like, third stringers. Also just terrible coaching situation. Seriously, Stefanski's so bad. I can't wait for people to see how bad it was. Like, report cards came out. He was the worst coach in the league voted by the NFLPA. So, I agree. And we saw some good flashes from Shedeur Sanders, like deep shots, mobility. There's talent there, for sure. There's upside there. He needs to win the quarterback battle, though. The job's not gifted to him right now. And this is good for Shedeur. I think you want to get the most out of Shedeur. You have a battle. I think my take is I just want a fair quarterback battle this offseason. Shedeur wasn't part of the battle last year in the offseason. We were lied to. Wasn't fair. Didn't get any reps. Fair quarterback battle between Shedeur, Watson, and somebody else that you bring in. Maybe it's Anthony Richardson. Maybe it's Kyler Murray. Fair quarterback battle. May the best QB win. And I have faith Shedeur can win that battle. I think Todd Monken could bring the most out of Shedeur. But I want a fair QB battle. 12 will be in it. May the best one win. By the way, Todd Monken on Twitter, this has been going around, finally put out a post. His first actual post, he's reposted stuff, but his first post in years, photo of him and Shedeur and the birthday present that Shedeur got Todd Monken. Their birthdays are a couple days away. Everybody said, it's confirmed. Todd Monken's going to start Shedeur Sanders next year. Well, I think it's just a fun little post that he put out. But there's a real possibility it's the case, and I do think that Monken would bring the most out of Shedeur Sanders. I think he could get the most out of 12 that Stefanski was holding back with Shedeur Sanders' potential and actual talent is. And so that's the latest story there. But, yeah, my ultimate point is that I think it should be a quarterback battle. I have faith that Shedeur can win that battle, but he has to win it. He does. So you tell me in the comments section, should Shedeur Sanders start for the Browns? Type Y for yes. Type N for no. Should number 12 be QB1 again next year? Comment down below what you think of this matter. We're going to dive into some more questions now here as we continue on with the mailbag. So Robert Colbert, I would trade down because we all know that Tate is gone. That way we can address both problems at the same time. I love the idea of trading down. So shout out to Robert Colbert / Kathy. I think she's using her husband's account. But it's very possible Tate's not there at 6, that the Giants take him. It's possible that he's there at 9 if you trade down a few spots as well. That's why I love the trade down. I think you can get a guy that you would draft at 6 anyway and an additional draft pick. Someone might give you a second to move up to pick 6 as well. Like, you could really, really smash this draft by trading down. That's why I'm all for it. That's why the Browns are open to doing it. That's why when draft day comes around, remember, this trade wouldn't happen until on draft day itself. Why? Because if Caleb Downs is sitting there at 6, if Sonny Styles is sitting there at 6, a team's going to be like, hey, you guys aren't going to draft Downs, but the Commanders will right after you. Can we move up? It's going to be a perfect scenario for the Browns if that's the case. And the trade down, I'm all for it. And then you could get Monroe Freeling a few picks later. You could get a wide receiver a few picks later. It's perfect. It's perfect. Shout out Robert Colbert for putting that in here. Pat Wooey, I want an extra first next year for Arch Manning or Jeremiah Smith. Now I see why people are ready for the first round pick in 2027. You could trade with the Cowboys to try and get that. Or the Rams, one of those teams that has 2 first-round picks this year might swap and give you an extra one the next year. Again, if the stud defensive player is there at 6, that a team will jump up for you, it's possible you get a decent haul to trade down. And so, absolutely, I'd be in on that too for trading down. We would love Jeremiah Smith. Oh, man, you guys like Cardinal Tate, you're going to love Jeremiah Smith even more. I promise you that. So, absolutely. Don't mind that at all from Pat Wooey getting an extra first. More questions to get to here from the Browns fans, but first let's tell you about our awesome sponsor, and that is Prize Picks. Shoot your shot on Prize Picks and get $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. That is right. Prize Picks is now giving you $50 in lineups when you sign up and play your first $5. Prize Picks makes every dunk, every dime, every board that much more exciting. So don't miss this chance to get started on America's #1 app for sports picks. I got the app, and I've been playing it ever since. Make sure to check if Prize Picks is available in your state. Probably is. It's available in 50 states. Prize Picks is simple to play. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. If you get your picks right, you can cash in. Pick from all your favorite sports, anything. Basketball, baseball, hockey, UFC, soccer, college basketball, tennis, golf, esports, and more. Join millions of users and sign up for America's #1 sports picks app. 2-pick power play that I made. Rory McIlroy, less than 71 strokes. Scotty Scheffler, less than 70.5 strokes. That's right. We're talking golf, and I got the 2 of the best in the game to play pretty well here. So download the Prize Picks app today. Use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups. After you play your first $5 lineup, that is code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It is good to be right. Micah, #Browns. Joey, who do you like the most in free agency for the Browns? Great question here from Micah. Let's talk free agency a little bit. I love the offensive lineman, one of the 2. The big dogs. I'm talking Tyler Linderbaum. I like Isaiah Likely as well. I like the Buffalo linemen that are free agents now. David Edwards, Connor McGovern. We need at least one offensive lineman in free agency. One's big splash, like a Linderbaum. Rasheed Walker maybe, too, because he could play left tackle. That's who I like. Get a splash O-lineman, in my opinion. Jake Heath. What up, Jake? Good to see you again, man. Second round wide receiver targets you would accept, Joey. I like this question from Jake. I think this wide receiver class is loaded in 2026. So here are some guys that'll maybe get to the second or definitely be in the second. Number 1, you get really lucky if Indiana wide receiver Omar Cooper's there. Top of the second, no-brainer, give me him. Tennessee wide receiver Chris Brazzell, about 6'5", 4.37 40. He's rising in people's lists now. First, scouts were all over the map. Now they're like, okay, I see him. Tennessee wide receiver concerns me a little bit, though. We do have our boy Seti Tillman, but he might be there in the second. Zachariah Branch, I think people are underrating him. Mel Kiper's high on him. I'm high on him. Perfect for a Todd Monken offense. Gets a lot of screens. That's what the Browns need, though. He's so good after the catch. He's fast. He's shifty. Think about a Zay Flowers type who Todd Monken used in Baltimore. It'd be perfect for the Browns offense. Think about Mecole Hardman even. That's the kind of guy I think would be perfect for the Brownies in the slot. So second-round wide receiver targets, those are a couple for you, Jake. I like that question. Gio Ditt. Kyler Murray, yes or no? No for me. Shout out for your take, Gio. Question and a take. I like that. Feel free to get both of them in your super chats. That's awesome. I would say bring him in, honestly, though, Gio. Here's why. Kyler Murray, because the Cardinals owe him north of $38 million, what's going to happen next year is Arizona is paying Kyler Murray to play for another team. It is in Kyler's best interest to sign a minimum deal with the team. Unless the team is going to give him $40 million, which, come on, who's going to do that? It's best for him to sign somewhere for $1.3 million. That's it. That's all it would cost to get Kyler. And because you're a team that is capped by cap space, limited in what you can do, a cheap option like Kyler Murray, who is actually showed a lot of good in the NFL, who actually is a talented quarterback, I believe. I'm not saying he's your answer, he's your starter. He's a short quarterback. He's one-dimensional in that sense. But why not get him into the quarterback battle for that cheap? He's a solid starter. So make this thing interesting. Shedeur, Kyler, Watson, I'm in on that. I don't think Kyler would pick the Browns, though. There's no way he chooses Cleveland. I think he goes to Minnesota. The Falcons are an outside sleeper as well. I would keep an eye on Atlanta for Kyler. And then if he wasn't going to go to Minnesota, he'd probably go play in some warm weather like Miami or the big market New York team like the New York Jets. So it's not going to it's not going to happen, I'm trying to say. But I would be down to bring him in for that cheap. It's only going to be $1.3 million to get Kyler this year, folks. That's the league minimum. Joshua Miller. Are we bringing Cade York back for some competition for Smith? What an awesome question as we start to wrap up. That is a great one, man. Joshua Miller, guys, has a Cade York jersey, okay? You know, that's how you know he's a real Browns fan, a OG Browns fan, my guy. No, I haven't heard that that's the case, Joshua Miller, but if it is, I will let you know. You will be the first to know, my friend, okay? All of you will be. I would make a video on Cade York coming back to the Brownies. But shout out Andre Schmidt, too, who actually, since week 1, very accurate kicker. We were getting ready to cut him after the Bengals game because we lost that game because of a missed chip shot. But he actually went out there and bounced back and started balling and nailing field goals. So the Browns placed a tender on him. He was an exclusive rights free agent in Cleveland. Basically what that means is Andre Schmidt is going to be back as the Cleveland Browns kicker. He can't negotiate with other teams because the Browns placed a tender on him. So no kicker competition yet, but I'm glad Schmidt is back on in here. Let's go back to Pat Wooey. Get a Mike Evans or good vet, and then get Jeremiah Smith next year. Okay, now we're talking. Get a vet, draft a good wide receiver this year, get Jeremiah Smith next year. I like that. Mike Evans is going to be a very expensive vet, though. I don't know if you know. He's going to want to, honestly, he might be asking for 20 mil, 15 mil, 20-plus mil. Which is crazy because of how old he's getting, the injuries he's getting, but he's still producing, and his agent's going to be trying to go for that big deal. So, good vet on a minimum. I actually like DeAndre Hopkins a lot, who is a free agent, who worked with Todd Monken last year. The former Raven could follow Todd Monken to the Browns, and that I would love as a vet. I've always been a big Hopkins guy. I said he was the best wide receiver in the league in his prime. So, bring him in here. He's still producing, by the way, in Baltimore last season. He still made some acrobatic catches. I'd bring him in, and he'd be very cheap as compared to Mike Evans. But Evans has the Monken connection, too, from Tampa Bay, so not a bad shout there from Pat Wooey. Jay Keith, #Browns. Now that KC have 9 and 29, do we trade down if they want Downs or Love? Yes, Jake, I like where your head is at, my friend. And I think Kansas City's one of the teams that would call you if Jeremiah Love is there at 6. Why? They don't think he's going to be there at 9, but they really want him at 9. And that would kind of be disgusting if the Chiefs got Jeremiah Love. They'd be Super Bowl contenders again all of a sudden. But yeah, if they call us up and want to trade from 6 to 9, that's perfect for the Browns. Perfect, because one, if it is Downs or Love, you know they're not going to take who you wanted, which is Tate or Freeling or Fano or Lemon, right? So you could move down 3 spots, get draft capital for the move down, and still get your guy. I'm such a big proponent of the trade down, guys, this year. I really am. It worked last year, too. Now, I don't know if it was Mason Graham the right pick. He's good, but the point is that you got to draft Hall, and you drafted Quinshon Judkins with one of those picks. You drafted Dylan Sampson with another one of those picks, and you got a first-round pick this year, which is pick 24, which is actually going to be pivotal for the Browns' offense next year. So, I like to trade down, Jake. Good question there. If we do this right, if we play our cards right, how good do you think we can be? Predict the Browns' record next season. Comment a win total or full record down below. How many wins can Cleveland get? I really think this thing could be much better and that we could be at least in contention for the AFC North, like above 500 here, if we fix the offense in any way, shape, or form. That was the only issue. We couldn't move. If you had some movement, a couple scores on offense, I think the defense would hold a lot of teams, and we'd be in a pretty good shape here and wouldn't have to keep throwing them out there. So predict the Browns record next season for me in the comment section. And also make sure you give me a follow on X at Joey070 if you got more questions for me. And as always, hit that subscribe button because we want to make you guys, your voices heard in these videos. So subscribe. Don't miss Browns videos when they come out. Appreciate you all for tuning in to the Browns Report, and I'll see you next time here on the show. Boom. It's good stuff, people. It's good stuff. Good stuff, Gage. Good stuff. Good stuff. Guys, this was a lot of fun. This was a lot of fun. So appreciate you all for pulling up. We're $1 away from $30 in supers. We're at 29. So if anyone wants to send the last bombshell in with another question or take for me, I'm going to stay on a bit for you guys as long as those are flowing. But today was a really fun show. I love doing this. I love talking Brownies. Let's see these record predictions. 9 or 10 wins, 6-11, 14 wins. Elite Down Sports, I'm all in with you. Webb, 10 wins, 10-7. Look, we got some optimism here. Jake Heath, 8-9, 9-8. I think that's honestly very realistic, Jake. If we make the right decisions here, get any sort of movement on offense, Shedeur develops with Monken, now we're talking. Hopefully. You think the Bengals will be stacked? Oh, yeah, no. Yeah. They could suck again, honestly. They're not getting Trey Hendrickson back. He's leaving.
What's your prediction of where Trey Hendrickson is going to go?
Oh, that's a good one. If the Bears don't get Crosby, I could see him going to Chicago.
I was thinking that too.
I could see him going to Chicago if they don't trade for Max Crosby.
Well, where would Crosby go if he doesn't go to Chicago?
He'd be back to the Raiders.
Oh yeah, I mean
they want a huge hole for him.
Yeah.
And he only wants to go to Chicago, maybe.
Do you think that the haul they're asking is too much
for Crosby?
Yeah.
I mean,
I know he's very talented, but
we could say that from the outside. But like, if somebody said that to me, like I might say that to you, but if somebody said that to me, like, don't you think you're asking too much for Myles Garrett? I would be like, no way. We should get like 3
It's based
firsts.
on based on the perspective.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So I could see why the Raiders would think that.
Because I know that
he is also generational.
Because they want something similar to what the Cowboys got for Micah. I think that's what they're looking at, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they want a huge deal. So
at least 2 first-round picks.
Yeah, so probably won't be a Brownie, but Hendrickson's a free agent. Pair him with Myles Garrett.
Do you think he'll go to an AFC North rival though?
Yeah, he could do whatever he wants. The Bengals.
Well, I know that, but I know he can do whatever he wants. I'm just saying, like, I don't know if. Oh yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, it's a stupid question, but but no, I'm just saying, like, I don't know, like, what would the Browns offer him? What do you think the Browns will offer him?
That's the thing. I don't think we have the cap offer for him.
I feel like it's either, if you guys do go with Hendrickson, it's either him or Linderbaum. That it's better of which you think is more important. I think it's offensive line's more necessity right now than defense. Yeah,
definitely. As much as that would be fun to get Hendrickson with Garrett, I think the money's going to go elsewhere.
Yeah.
O-line probably. Hopefully, at the very least. Hopefully. So, all right, folks. It's going to do it for us here on the Browns Report Live. Look at that. We got to 100 likes. Shout out to you guys for that. If you want to be part of these videos, we'll do them every Wednesday. This is awesome, hanging out with you guys. Let's do this again soon. And like I said, we'll be live next week during the week for free agency. So don't miss out on what the Browns do next week because big week coming up. Appreciate you all. Hit that sub button. And we'll see you next time here on the Browns Report.